Howdy, welcome into the Better Baseball MLB DFS Playbook podcast and live stream recording here for Tuesday's 13-game main slate. James, we had a nice little Memorial Day weekend, a day slate on Monday, get back into the swing of things here, but a monster Tuesday slate to kick off the week for us.
Yeah, day slate went well. Good screenshots in the Fantasy Farm Discord, which if you're not already a member, you guys should be today. But yeah, an interesting 13-game main slate on Tuesday. Howard Bender on the playbook per usual, as your Howard Bender Tuesdays go. But fun slate. Cincinnati in Boston, so we have a good ballpark there. Good ballpark in Toronto. We don't have Coors Field, which is always a plus. Arizona still in Coors. Good pitching. Good stuff all around. So let's just get into Vegas right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we got? Minus 165 for the Toronto Blue Jays over on DraftKings Sportsbook, hosting the Milwaukee Brewers. Brian Bayo and the Boston Red Sox are minus 190 favorites, as the Cincinnati Reds are in town, as I mentioned. The St. Louis Cardinals minus 180 over the Kansas City Royals, who shut them out, almost perfected them on Monday. 195 is the number for Shane McClanahan and the Tampa Bay Rays over the Chicago Cubs. We'll see if there's wind blowing in again in that game. 1-0 on Monday. Minus 230 for Zach Gallen and the Arizona Diamondbacks hosting the Colorado Rockies, and minus 230 for the Braves. No shocker. Hosting the or actually they're on the road in Oakland. And then Tony Gonsolin, actually the biggest favorite on the board, minus 300 over on DraftKings Sportsbook, as the Dodgers host the Nationals. In terms of over-unders, let's see if there's anything that's interesting. 9.5 in Milwaukee, Toronto. 9.5 in Cincinnati, Boston. We do not have a total in the Cubs game. That's not a surprise because I think they're waiting on the wind. 9 implied runs in Washington and the Dodgers. So 4 games, including Kansas City, St. Louis, I didn't mention that, have a 9 total or higher.
I was initially about to yell at DraftKings for not having Mike Soroka in their player pool. He is not showing up as a probable starter. If you search for his name, he does appear. He has $7,800. He was called up.
He's pitching.
Oh, today, right? Sorry, he's pitching Monday. That's why. That is Monday. Why. I was like, wait a minute, isn't he supposed to be called up starting today? He pitched Monday. Never mind. Can't be mad at DraftKings for doing things.
Can't be mad at DraftKings
in this particular instance here. I was like, Oakland, Soroka, where is he? Not on the slate. That's because Bryce Elder is pitching against Oakland here on the slate. All right, let's go into pitching. As I mentioned, Shane McClanahan, your top price guy, going up against Chicago, 11-4. Joe Ryan, 11-1 at Houston. Zach Gallen at home against Colorado, 10-7. Logan Gilbert at home, 10-2 against the Yankees. Your top 4 guys. Kodai Senga, Bryce Elder, and Lucas Giolito round up the guys over 9K. A lot of pitching on a 13-game slate here, James. We like to kind of eliminate and rank. Talk to me, man, of that top 6. Who we in on? Who we out on?
Definitely in on McClanahan. Currently, I think he's now the front runner for American League Cy Young after Garrett Cole's recent struggles once again. Definitely in a McClanahan, coming off 1 earned or less in 4 of his last 5 starts, so I can get there. Joe Ryan just kind of labored through his last start, and that's kind of been the MO for him, which is fine. Like, he's not giving up a lot of earned runs, but this feels like another spot where that could take place. Houston's offense looks a little better. Altuve hit a grand slam on Monday, so there, like, I'm okay getting to Ryan. I think for me, it's McClanahan. It's Zach Gallen, who's one of the biggest favorites on the board. I know the strikeouts have been down the last 2 starts, but that could change here against Colorado on the road. And then Bryce Elder, who continues to be awesome. He is hosting Oakland, or he is facing Oakland. I mean, look at Elder's outings this year. Outside of 1 start against Miami, where he still got 12 ground ball outs, he's really just been awesome. He hasn't lost yet, and only 3 wins, but we know, when it comes to scoring runs, Atlanta's, arguably the best offense in baseball. So
where do they keep finding these starting pitchers?
Dude, it's not just the pitchers though, it's everybody. Like, they sign all these guys to like these low end deals early, and then they just have them forever. And it's like, oh, Ronald Acuna is still only making $12 million a year when he's the best player in baseball. So
like Kyle Wright led the league in like wins last year, and all of a sudden Bryce Elder's out here with 2 ERA the next season.
Dude, 21 wins last year. He doesn't even It's just a well-oiled machine.
Right.
So McClanahan, Gallen, and Elder for me. I could see getting to like Senga for the strikeouts and maybe Gilbert, good ballpark to pitch in, coming off some very good outings himself. 28 fantasy points in 3 of the last 4. But the thing with Gilbert is he struggles against righty bats. He has, at least for the years prior, and we know
Mhm.
the Yankees possess one of those righty bats that give everyone
Yeah,
problems.
I agree with you. All right, next tier down here. Another one of those times where it's like, all right, we know the splits are great, but we also know the pitcher's trash. We have Yusei Kikuchi, lefty, going up against the Milwaukee Brewers here. What wins out in this matchup? Does Yusei shut down Milwaukee, or does Milwaukee get to Kikuchi here?
I tend to think that Milwaukee gets shut down, and maybe they'll actually be better without Willie Adames, who's on the IL with a concussion. Um, but Milwaukee's terrible against lefties, and the only thing that we really have to worry about with Kikuchi, if you look through all of his box scores this year, and really since he's arrived in Major League Baseball, are the home runs. Like he just
Mhm.
gives up too many home runs. If he can limit that, then he'll be fine here. And
At
Milwaukee.
least one home run and all but 2 starts this year. So,
Right. Maybe it's the multi home run starts. Like we can get away with a home run.
sure.
Milwaukee also 28th in ISO against lefties, so not exactly a team that's hitting for a lot of power against them.
No, I listen. I agree with you 100%. You also look at some of these teams that Kikuchi's had to face, like not fun. Tampa, Baltimore, Atlanta, Boston, the Yankees,
Yeah,
Tampa again. Like
yeah,
you
brutal.
know,
The
not
Angels, the
yeah, the
Angels too.
right,
Like,
who are lighting up Michael Kopech right
yep,
now.
yep,
It's right, so it's not as if he's out there throwing against the little league here. He's at a
right,
tough road.
right.
But as you mentioned below him, Tony Gonsolin's got Washington, so more people are going to play Tony Gonsolin against Washington, which makes Kikuchi an interesting pivot.
Agreed.
I think at $8,400, there has been some strikeout potential in the past for Kikuchi as well. The only other guy in this range here is Nestor. He's the most expensive one of the AKs. How are you treating the Yankees starter nutties out of Yankee Stadium going against Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a pretty good spot. We haven't really thought too highly of Seattle. The only thing that Seattle does well against lefties is home runs.
Right.
Nestor has had an issue this year, 10 home runs and 10 starts. So like that's obviously a little concerning. He's about a strikeout per inning. He doesn't really walk a lot of guys. A lot of base runners this year though for Nestor. So,
Mm-hmm.
that's not great if you're putting someone on. Julio Rodriguez is on freaking fire.
Yeah.
Teoscar's hit a couple home runs lately. Ty France had a double down game, so I'm okay with it. I also just want to live kind of in this next tier of guys, truthfully. Like under 8K, I really like Miles Mikolas against KC coming off his best start of the year, 7 scoreless. He's actually been pretty good of late. Double digit fantasy points in pretty much every start over the last month and a half
You know where
with
I want to go with this, though.
yeah, no, I know. We're working our way. We're working our
Okay.
way there.
Okay.
Mikolas, I listen. Kyle Gibson, $7,500 against Cleveland. Cleveland is literal trash, and like they just didn't make the right decisions in the offseason. Josh Bell was their biggest acquisition offensively, and things are
Right.
just not getting any better for them. 7,500 is too cheap for a guy coming off 22 and 23 fantasy points. And then you get to Brian Bayo at $7,000. There's 3 guys in the 7K tier that I'm perfectly fine with getting to. Bayo has arguably been better than all of them, at least on a more consistent
The
basis.
last 5 starts, 17 or more
It's
fantasy points.
awesome.
So.
Yeah, it's awesome. And yes, Cincinnati does have like decent options, right? Like, but it really ends after Tyler Stevenson. Like their lineup is Stevenson, India, Friedel, Fraley. And if you
Yeah.
can get and you know what? I'll give a McLean a shout out because McLean's been awesome in his own right. Like to be fair, I
Yeah.
should say they're top 5. But it's not like they're like also 30 home run guys and they're not.
Yeah.
Like
Spencer Steer, but like
yeah,
those
so,
guys, those
yeah.
guys all hit better against lefties than they do
Yeah.
righties. So,
Yeah.
and the the one thing I love about Bayo, look at those last 3 starts: 100 pitches, 107
Yep.
pitches,
Love it.
98 pitches. So, no longer is he seemingly on any sort of limitation pitch count wise. Got hurt by the 2 solo home runs allowed against the Angels, but that was really it. Shut them down. Seattle shut down Atlanta. In Atlanta, 2 earned runs against Toronto. So again, I've been preaching it now for a while. I'm glad you're finally on board with me here. That Bayo, considered a top pitching prospect in baseball, finally living up to that. You're also a Belak guy. So, like,
Not today.
$800
No.
against Minnesota? No?
Nope, not today. John, I just want you to know, you and I play a lot of Minnesota. Wait until oh, dude. Kirilloff, Royce O'Neal, 4-5 for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Forget it. We are never not playing Twins again.
Well, especially, I mean, well, today you had
Or
to
Royce
play.
Lewis. I said Royce O'Neal.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was in the.
I was just gonna let it slide, but that was
Okay.
fine. Royce Lewis is again $2,000. So
Yeah, I already. By the way, previously before you said that, I had already plugged him into my lineup.
yeah, you have to.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just so like, and there was no Buxton today. They scored 7 runs. It's forget it. We're toast. Our bank accounts are 0.
We're the biggest Twins fans now. So, are you going down any below Kyle Hendricks, Kyle Freeland, Oviedo? Anybody down here?
Probably gonna pass on this tier.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't need to. I mean, 7K for Bayo is cheap enough.
I agree with you. All right, catcher spot though. Shout out to Adrian Hauser. Didn't he just throw like a shutout? He did.
Yeah,
shout out Houston. Shout out Tampa Bay. Adrian Hauser against Toronto. Can he keep it going?
Maybe. Maybe. I'm not like fully convinced. If he does, good for him. You'll get him at 1%. He'll be 1%. He'll be 1%. He'll be 1% owned.
Yep, I'm with you there. All righty, let's go back to catcher then. A lot of catcher options, a lot of good matchups, guys that we're looking to target in on. You have Sean Murphy return to Oakland against JP Sears at $4,700. Cal Raleigh gets Nestor, as you mentioned, with some power potential there.
Yep.
We're forever waiting for Cal Quantrill to regress. Adley Rutschman's 5K. I mean, are you targeting any of the top catchers here, or are we just looking for value? Because there's also some pretty strong matchups for us as we move down the list.
So Will Smith in a great spot. Irvin's been terrible of late, so I could definitely get there. I'm okay getting to Raleigh and Rutschman. I think they're both fine. Murphy's only going to face Sears probably once before Oakland's like, 50 pitches, you're out of the game. So like you can get to Murphy if you want. I think Atlanta's going to be popular this entire week. They were incredibly chalk on the Monday night slate as well. But no, I think you also get to Darno 42. I think that's fine. But Gabriel Moreno 3,200 against a lefty. Had a multi-hit game, had another stolen base. Gabriel Moreno is a sneaky fast catcher. 3 stolen bases already. I mean, like 3 stolen bases.
I said he's like Yachty, right? When Yachty used to hit like 12 home runs and steal 10 bags, like.
And and it is Yachty like, and the bat is probably more advanced than Yachty's was at this stage in his career, because like against lefties specifically, Moreno's a stud, and then Alvarez, who has been better than like every catcher in baseball right now. I know Coors is a factor, but like he was going into Coors hot, right?
Sure.
Like it has to be one of those two guys. Like I'm okay, I guess, going elsewhere, but why wouldn't we just plug one of those two in and move on, right? Like 3,200, 3,100.
I'm 100% agree with you. I just have to give the obligatory Yan Gomes versus lefty, and
True.
And we can. I mean, he homered off Kershaw for crying out loud. So like we can.
That's
nobody is safe when you're a lefty.
Safe against Yan Gomes.
All right, let's go on over to first base here. Again, 13 game slate, James. So like every top guy is on the board.
Sure.
If you're looking at this top grouping, what's your pick 2? Give me 2 guys from the top tier you're looking to plug and play.
Pete Alonso 55 against Ranger Suarez. Ranger Suarez has been atrocious. Alonso really hot coming into this game. 7 extra base hits over his last 10, 5 leaving the yard. And then I guess Ohtani, by like if we want to include him in the first base section. I usually would, because I don't want to just clog my outfield like Moniak, Trout, Ohtani, Renfroe. Like you can't play them all in the outfield. It's just impossible. So I'll go with Ohtani and Alonso.
Yeah, that's fine. I like that a lot. Obviously, if you go in Dodgers, Freeman's there at $5,300.
Yep.
Christian Walker against lefty, $4,600.
Yes, sir. He's been struggling. Very, very, very bad right now. But like lefties can change his course of a season for sure.
Yep, I'm with you there for sure. And then again, I think it kind of drops off if you want to go Ty France against Cortez. You can. Again, last year hit lefties well. This year, kind of just struggling in general, but has strung together a couple of decent games. So maybe he's starting to break out of it a little bit here. And then it's sort of, you just kind of go down to the value tier. Andrew Vaughn against Anderson at $3,400. Luke Raley against Kyle Hendricks at $3,400 could be a spot. You mentioned Kirilloff, $3,200 against Belak, certainly can be a guy in play here. So value tier at first base is pretty strong as well.
Yeah, Kirilloff on base 5 times on Monday. After he's on base at multiple times, literally every game. If you look through the box score, he's been great since returning from his injury, hitting fourth. I wonder if that changes with Buxton, but only more protection. I like all three of those guys. You can get any Kansas City guy you want. Prado was great in the leadoff spot on Monday. Another multi-hit game for him. And then I think like the Giants just score 10 plus runs like every other day at this point. Like I know Lamonte Wade hasn't been like a big part of it, but he's hitting at the top of their order against righties still. Like I know Austin Slater led off, but Austin Slater's not going to lead off with a righty on the mound.
Yep, I'm with you there. And then I tweeted out the Tristan Casas things. I shared it with you as well. Every StatCast number's like in the red percentile for him. You know, he strikes out a lot still. He had 3 strikeouts the other night as well against Arizona. But, you know, exit velocity, barrel rate, like you name it. And he's like right up there in all these StatCast numbers. He's got a 230 batting average and balls in play. At some point, that has to even out for him here, I think. And he was getting hot hitting at home before that road trip. Right. Kind of slowed him down into San Diego and LA. So now they're back home. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. I think Casas here could be a spot.
I mean, he's always a home run threat. Like that's, I mean, he's just one of those dudes that like you look past the strikeouts because that's part of.
And he wasn't a guy that struck out a ton at the minor league level. He was like a 1-1 strikeout to walk guy. Obviously, guys get up, face tougher pitching, and you know that changes. And he is certainly striking out. He's got a high whiff percentage, which isn't great. Swing and miss percentage is not what you're looking for from a guy. But when he makes contact, he's among the best contact hitters in baseball in terms of everything you want for a power hitter. So I think Casas here against Lively is a good value option on the slate.
Yeah, he's heating up too, so I'm down.
Yep. Let's go on over then to the second base position here. Where are we taking a peek? Mookie Betts is second base eligible on this slate. Brandon Lowe against Kyle Hendricks is at $5,100. And your boy Nolan Gorman at $49 against Greinke. Ketel Marte gets a lefty matchup against Kyle Freeland here. Like, what's your top guy?
Probably Gorman, Marte, that little tier. I'm perfectly fine getting to Mookie if you want to play him at second as well, if you want to mix him in there. Not a lot of interest in Brandon Lowe is whatever if you're playing a Tampa stack. I think its profile's better. And then it's just kind of move on down the list, which I'm looking. Okay. If Sean Manaea is actually starting, Rodolfo Castro is 3,500.
Yeah.
I don't know if Manaea is confirmed starting because he hasn't been starting. He also just came in relief, I guess 5 days ago. So we'll see if Manaea is.
At the very least, he's probably the long reliever here, right?
Yeah, they also only used him for an inning and a third the last time he pitched, which was 3 days after his 3 2/3 outing. So they're really limiting him. If there is
for the best.
Definitely for the best. If there is a chance that there's multiple lefties on the mound, Castro, Eduardo Escobar, 3,400. John, he just kind of continues to hit 2 for 5 in his lone start in Coors with an RBI, $3,400. Caballero against a lefty.
Yeah.
Miguel Vargas. There's actually a pretty good amount of value. Edward Julian hitting second, by the way, for Minnesota.
Yeah. Has some power there.
Dude, as much as I was touting Belak and we were having fun with that, more so than I actually thought Belak was this good pitcher, but he faced Oakland.
Yeah.
Lefties hitting 310, righties hitting 290, righties 410 WOBA, lefties 350. He is allowing so many base runners. I'm perfectly fine, honestly, stacking Minnesota. It's a joke. It's a running joke with me and you, but
it's not a running joke. You believe in the talent on that.
No, that's what it is. That really is what it is.
Right? And at some point they will hopefully find some consistency. Hanser Alberto against a lefty if he's in the lineup here, $2,600. A long favorite of the program.
That is a program favorite for sure.
Kevin Biggio, another favorite of mine at $2,300.
Yes, thank you for specifying.
Clarifying. Yep, that was a favorite of mine. That's all I got down here.
Yeah, that's it.
All righty. Third base position then. Up at the top again, all your usual suspects. Devers, Bregman, not going to go there probably against Ryan. Arenado's
54.
been struggling. Ramirez kind of sucks. Austin Riley gets Sears at 5K.
Yeah, there it is. That's the one.
Right? That feels
Yep,
pretty good. That
that's
feels
the one.
pretty good. Eugenio at 4,400.
Power if he hits a home run. That's what it comes down to at this point.
What's the strong Moncada side here? Is it lefties or righties?
It's career, I think, left against lefties this year. I think it's been righties. I can confirm right now.
Oh, we get Gunner against Quantrill here at 3,900 too. That's decent.
Very small sample for Moncada this year, so
Yeah, he's been hurt for a while, so
yeah, not even a Gunner. That's a great spot.
My Xbox just really randomly turned on, so they must be listening. Freaking me out. I don't know what just happened here. Did we just say Xbox on all of a sudden nowhere? Anyways, Gunnar Henderson.
Shout out to you for your Xbox responding to you talking to it. You know?
Right? I mean, it just randomly turned on. So ghosts, man. I guess. Sam Darnold, get out of my room. Gunnar Henderson's here is $3,900.
Yep.
I think that's probably a pretty good value option here.
Gunner and then the Arizona guys for even cheaper.
Right.
They get the lefty matchup.
Yeah, you have Longoria, who I can't even find at the moment. Where is he?
He's 31, and then Emmanuel Rivera 29.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. They're both very cheap.
Dude, Longoria's got a 643 slug and a 943 OPS the last 10.
Yeah, and he's hitting lefties again. Which we've talked about for a few slates. It's like, so by the way, John, Evan Longoria, Kyle Freeland, long history against one another. I'm not a big BVP guy. Yes. I don't really care. 36 at bat sample is fine. 11 for 36, 2 home runs. So 306 average, 390 WOBA.
I like that. I like that.
280 average, 371 for a better sample against lefties this year.
Yeah, big fan of that for sure. Anything else for you, Denny? Wilmer's 25. That's kind of
that's stupid cheap. Yeah, that's stupid cheap.
Cheap.
I was gonna say him and LeMahieu stupid cheap. Dude, Willie Castro did the thing.
You called him out on today's show.
He, I think he stole another base, which he's now done. What did he finish? He went 2 for 5 with a stolen base on Monday. 2 for 5 run scored, stolen base again. He's 2,500. You can play multi positions, all in on the twin.
Right. I'm with you there. I like that. Any other third baseman for you?
No, because Royce Lewis exists at shortstop.
Royce Lewis exists, right? Royce Lewis, we mentioned, is $2,000. So that being said, we're gonna play him 100% in our lineup, already in there.
Only 20%. Only 20%, by the way, to answer your question from Monday's live stream. Yeah, he was only 20%.
Wild. Can't imagine, but after what he did today, and he's still $2,000, would feel like on a bigger slate he'd be more popular, maybe. But if he's not, Bobby Witt's been hot lately. I know largely we play him against lefties, but been hitting the ball really well. Super talented, a lot of stolen base potential there. Senga walks everybody. If you walk straight Turner, there's multiple stolen base potential here. We haven't even really talked Phillies yet, but like Senga walks everybody. So another guy that gets on base for us a lot, Wander Franco against Hendricks, another guy that can steal bags for you if you're in on that. Lindor versus lefty, Tim Anderson versus lefty. Usable shortstops at the top if you want to go there. We're not going to sit here and really blink too much if they find their way into your lineup. Anybody else that you want to talk about outside of obviously just Royce Lewis?
You could play a pivot to Correa in the same lineup if you wanted to be contrarian. You could play Matt McLean, who's hitting like everything he sees.
What position is Lewis actually playing? Third?
He's playing third. So we're gonna get third base eligibility. I mean, they sent Miranda down and they just like haven't had a third baseman. And when Polanco gets back, they're gonna have an issue. Like Julian probably is the short man of the stick, but we'll see.
Nato's $2,100. I know it's not versus a lefty, but he is just
free. He's just a good player.
Yeah. All right, let's go to outfield here. Again, big slate. You want to stack, pick your guy, throw him in there. Acuna, great versus lefty. Judge, Harper versus Senga, sure. All of that. Julio Rodriguez, great. Buxton, perfect. It's hard to discriminate top tier talent on such big slates. It's just find your right stack, build it out. That's kind of how we go about this top range here. Let's go to the mid tier though. What's your targets in the mid tier?
Luis Robert, 4,600. I think the White Sox could be pretty popular, especially getting Eloy Jimenez back. Like that lineup.
Get an RBI, I think, in the first inning of this guy too. So.
Yep. RBIs in each of his first 2 games back, right? Just picking up right where he left off before the injury.
And he was too cheap then. What do they got him on the slate?
He's still cheap. He's probably still too cheap.
Eloy is $3,200. It's just free. Free. Free.
Stupid. JD Martinez has been really good, dude. I don't know. Is he on steroids again? I don't know. And again, I say again, but like 5 home runs his last 10 games. He's just hitting everything out of the ballpark. Yeah. Jake Irvin, not good. I think the Dodgers are really, really good here. Lourdes homered again on Monday. He's going to be right back in play against Kyle Freeland on Tuesday.
They're probably going to be playing versus lefty because they hate us. So.
Joey Gallo 4K to complete your stack. That's probably the 4K range. Then there's going to be a million guys under.
Yeah, I mean, under 4K. Hayes has been hitting righties really good. Kepler versus Bielak. Duran versus Lively here. Teoscar versus Cortez at $3,800. Starling Marte is at $3,800. Conforto is at $3,800. Outman versus Irvin. Yaz versus Oviedo. Yeah. Ammoniac, as you mentioned there, $3,500.
Eloy 32 is so
Eloy 32 is like are definitely an obvious plug for us there. Story, if he gets on, always likely to steal a bag at 33.
Marcelo Ozuna 29. He continues to hit. I don't know if you saw what Jake McCarthy did. I know it's lefty, but multiple stolen bases on Monday. Our boy is back.
Yeah, not shocked at all. Need him for all my best ball teams. He's in the minors. So. All right, let's build a lineup here. Obviously, Lewis is plugged in and Eloy is plugged in, right?
Those are the first 2 guys I plugged as well.
Do you want to throw Rodolfo in there at second too?
I just don't know if he's gonna. I'm okay with it because we didn't really have like anything else that we loved. So yeah, I'd be okay getting Rodolfo.
Okay, and then third base. What was our third base? Longoria, right? So
yeah.
All right, so we got a lot of money.
It's him or Riley if we wanted to put.
We wanted McClanahan, you said for sure?
It's between McClanahan, Gallen, Elder. Those are the 3 top arms. We could probably, because we're going to do catcher, we're either going to go Gabe Moreno or Francisco Alvarez too. Like we're spending down on
I like
those
the power
guys.
for Alvarez here.
Yep. So we're going to probably, we have
7K at play, not even with a pitcher yet. So
if you did the build that you have and then did Elder
McClanahan, Elder gives us 4,800 a play.
Yeah. And then we could get like Acuna because I think targeting JP Sears is
that's fine.
Ideal.
You wanted Kirilloff, you said so.
Yep, I'm perfect.
Kirilloff at first, $3,200, $4,800 outfielder.
$4,800 outfield.
Lewis Robert. There we go.
Lewis Robert.
Bingo. So that's a lineup here. Shane McClanahan, Bryce Elder, Francisco Alvarez, Alex Kirilloff, Rodolfo Castro, Evan Longoria, Royce Lewis, Eloy Jimenez, Ronald Acuna, Lewis Robert. James and I will be back live at 5 o'clock Eastern for everybody. So get in the Discord, sign up, fantasyalarm.com/allpro, promo code MLB50. For those of you who are not yet a member of the Fantasy Alarm family there, you can save 50% off the first 6 months with that promo code MLB50 there, $19.98 a month for the first 6 months. Again, James and I will be back live at 5 o'clock Eastern to break down the slate with all the latest updates and lineup news. We will talk to you guys later.